especially in the cervical region too, so don't even try it in that area. But what you can do, just until you master this technique, is just kind of skin roll and just give a little tug. You can just roll back and forth in this areas. What I call a technique, it's called the fascia pop. Okay, next technique, especially for low back region, what you're going to do is actually kind of cup the hip a little bit, and you can actually move this hand. So this hand is actually moving this way a little bit, but you don't have to actually move it at all, but you're just kind of lifting up, and then this hand right here is actually just kind of going across. Especially for the low back region, quadratus lumborum, again, the rectors, serratus posterior, inferior region, you can actually do a cross-handed stretch right across the low back, right above the iliac crest. So you're getting that area. But again, a lot of people have a lot of problems in that region, so that's why it's really beneficial. And some people will actually go like this and kind of separate this way. But again, you're going to hold it there for a long period of time. But it's a great way to actually warm it up if you actually do some movements in these regions too beforehand. So again, everybody's going to perform this a little bit different. You're just going to have to find out which way you like to perform it and which way the client likes to perform it too. Okay, next one. With the knuckle, you can actually kind of twist too. Remember how we had the hand before and we did a twist with this? But also with the knuckle, you can actually twist it a little bit and perform those techniques too. And you can even incorporate trigger point therapy into these regions. So you can actually find a tender area and actually twist it, or actually do the movement with the stretch in those areas. The area that gets neglected a lot is the side region. So you can actually be on the other side, but you're actually performing more of a stretch. And you can even kind of hook the iliac crest region, and this hand is the one that's moving more. But again, I would want to be on the other side of the body. Make sure you're on the same side so you're not leaning over the client, because when you're starting to lean over the client, that's when your body mechanics are going to start having problems then. Okay, next one, what we're going to do is you can actually have your hand right on more of the gluteus medius region, so it's right below the iliac crest area. So you can kind of sink your hand in there. So if the client is clothed, you can actually just compress here, and then you can actually get more of the whole low back region, so you can get that full stretch for there. But if the client's unclothed, you can actually perform like this, and then both hands can actually do the movement then with the stretch. But if you're ever doing a posture evaluation, a lot of times one person's hip is a little bit higher than the other one. So if one side is a little bit higher than the other one, that's the area that needs to be concentrated on to actually stretch out. So that's why just make sure that you're actually doing more of a posture evaluation first, or actually ask them. You can even kind of tell on the person's body just when they're laying there which side is a little bit higher too. So with this, you can also kind of compress, and you can use your knuckle if you need to. For these areas. And some people just go across, right across the gluteus medius, again, right below the iliac crest. So you actually want to feel for the hip bone where it's located then. So you're not putting a lot of pressure right on the hip bone, because if you're actually putting pressure right on there, you're more likely to actually bruise that region. So any bony areas, again, you remember you're more likely to bruise them. So try to stay away from them as much as possible then. Okay, let me go to more the mid-back area. Okay, for the mid-back area, you can actually look at the rector region. it's a ropey band here. As you can just move it back and forth, and sometimes you can even get down and actually look and see which side is a little bit more raised than the other. So right at their head region, you want to actually look and see which area is a little bit more up, so you know what area to actually more concentrate on for the stretch. So with this area, you can actually do more of a cross-handed. You can cross it apart like this, or again, like we showed you earlier, a cross-handed stretch like this to get this region. So again, most people have either problems in the upper back, neck, shoulder region, or lower back. Not too much right here, but around the shoulder blades, that's where a lot of people have problems, just because their shoulders are more internally rotated. So it's actually rotating more around like this then. So just make sure you're aware of that. So with this, you can also go the other direction, actually go down, but again, ask them where their chin is, just make sure, because again, you're going to be pushing them down this way some, and you don't want to kind of hook their chin at all with the stretch then.